Hey friends, Rick from BCW Supplies here with your FAB Breakdown, the new show breaking down all news, flesh and blood. In this episode, we're going to be talking about the news that dropped this morning from Legend Story Studios regarding prize cards, as well as the upcoming events and new seasons. So let's get into it. Today is July 21st, 2022, and this morning, Legend Story Studios announced a partnership with PCG that all prize cards moving forward will be graded by PCG and will be a 9.5 or higher. That means they're going to be graded, encased, and all prize cards that are printed that don't meet the rigorous standards of 9.5 will in fact be destroyed, thus ensuring you, the recipient of the large prize, will actually be getting something in great condition. Now, this has actually lit up the Twitter world, the FAB community on multiple different platforms, because they feel that PCG is just a really new company and they feel that they might be grading cards slightly better than the competitors in that realm. So, for example, Beckett typically would grade a little bit harder, or PSA may grade a little bit harder, thus lowering the scores on these. Overall, I personally feel that this is a good deal. Once a card has been encased in a slab, it's going to be easier to transport and protect the edges, stop things from curling, stop damage in postal service shipments, while top loaders and magnetic card holders can help protect against it. The best way to protect against any type of elemental effect to a card is actually encasing it in a slab, thus grading a card. I do, though, agree that PCG is a relatively new grading service. It is partly owned by Matt Rogers, a competitor, a great all-time great flesh and blood player who is friends with the staff and owners at LSS. But I believe this is more of a partnership where you have somebody who has a business and this is going to help promote them as well as help reward the players. Look, if you win one of these cards and you're not happy with the fact that it was graded a 9.5 by PCG, you want to go ahead and crack that case open, you can. You can safely open case slabs. I don't recommend it, but there are people out there that can tell you how to do it, and then you could ship it off to have it graded by whatever service you want to have graded. It may come back at a lower grade, or it may come back at the same grade, in which case you've spent more money to have it graded. Ultimately, it's a prize card. It'll have a value associated with it based on the demand from the market. And I think that ensuring that players get things that aren't damaged, don't have dents in them, don't have creases or bent corners. I participated in a Farewell Welcome to Wraith event where the cold foil heroes actually were damaged in shipment to the store. The cases of product were placed on top of it, and about 8 out of the cold foil heroes were actually had a crease in the middle from where stuff had been set on top of it, or it had been bent, the corner of the package had been bent. So that's kind of a real bummer when you play in an event and you're looking to get something cool, something unique, and what you're given is a damaged card. So hats off to LSS. We do know after their video that they posted destroying the gold foil full art tunics that yes, they in fact will stand behind their words and they will destroy prize cards to make sure that they live up to their end of the deal. So I don't expect any different with this. Plus PCG is going to be local to where LSS is and where those cards are going to be printed and shipped to as far as the prizes are concerned. It's just another level of caution, another added value, if you will, to the prize. And I, for one, I'm a fan. So thank you, LSS, for looking out for us, the players. Looking forward to getting our hands on some of those graded cards as a prize. So that was the big news story of the week. Again, this is the week of July 21st. We are in our last week of Road to Nationals. So let's go ahead and talk about events. All right, speaking of Road to Nationals, I'm super excited. This is the last weekend of Road to Nationals, and it looks like most of the ones in the United States that are left are class constructed. I'm really enjoying this current class constructed meta. The diversity is all over the place. We have seen heroes top 8ing left and right. Most of the top 8s have been extremely diverse. I know there are some naysayers out there that are going to say that Prism is too good. It's about to hit Living Legend. I've seen some people out there talking about how dominant Phi has been, but it's really not. That deck has a saturation, but if you look at its win percentage conversion based on the number of people that are playing it, and this is from FAB meta information, it looks like it's got about a 49% conversion rate, whereas other decks with less players playing that deck have a higher conversion rate, making the top 8. So more people are playing Phi, that's going to skew the perception, but is Phi a good deck? Yes. Is it a deck that I'm super excited to play? Absolutely. I'm a hyper-aggressive deck player. I love it. But do I think it's broken on the bounds of like an unerrated Briar or a Chain with Seeds of Agony or a Starvo? No, absolutely not. I love how diverse this meta is currently, and I cannot wait to see some of the results from larger events. Speaking of larger events, we have some large events to talk about, but first, a word from our sponsor, the fine folks at bcwsupplies.com. Hey friends, Rick from BCW here with the Elite 2 product highlight here. This is going to be a bundle deal and it may save you some money. It's a great convenient way to buy sleeves because you get 100 of the BCW Elite 2 sleeves. You get 100 inner sleeves, a plastic card deck box with divider. And this is a phenomenal way to just sleeve up any deck that you're playing. If you like to double sleeve, awesome. If you don't like to double sleeve, you still get a deck box with divider and 100 of the Elite 2 sleeves, which are my preferred sleeves when I'm playing any game like Flesh and Blood. So head on over to BCW Supplies right now, check out the Elite 2 selection, check out the bundle deal, and make sure you find the color that you like and order yours today. All right, that was BCW Supplies. Head on over to bcwsupplies.com. Show them some love. They help support the content that I create, and I create this content for you. So if you can help support them, they'll help support me, and I'll continue to support you with this content. It's kind of like a circle. Let's just keep it rolling. All right, speaking of large events, we have a very large event that is getting ready to take place this weekend. Not only is this weekend the end of Road to Nationals, but this weekend we also have a calling in the Netherlands. This is the Utrecht calling. I probably butchered the name. Sorry about it. Just going to move forward. We'll just refer to it as the calling. Cool, thanks. All right, so we have the calling now. Friday at the calling, we're going to have the European Championship battles. This is an invite only, and it's class constructed. So I can't wait to see what kind of tech has been held back from the Road to Nationals events that have been taking place worldwide, where people were holding on to either a deck or some special tech or something. Maybe we're going to see a new archetype. Maybe we're going to see that Control Icelander just dominate, or we're going to see something out of Dromai, or we're going to see another hero make a resurgence, kind of like Viserai did in that week 1 of Road to Nationals. I'm excited, so let's stay tuned to see what happens out of that European Championship battle. Then on Saturday and Sunday of the calling, we have a split format event. It's going to be an Uprising draft with class constructed. That is going to be more telling information. Again, I'm betting people sat on that information. There may be some new tech there. I can't wait to see. Now, I know Europe is going to be a slightly different meta of decks and heroes and playstyles than what we have here in the US, but it's still good information. You can still see something that maybe you didn't think of. Always worth checking out, following along. If it's streamed, make sure you're watching if you can. It's great entertainment. It's great coverage normally, and it's always helpful to stay on top of what is happening as it's happening. So at least follow along on Twitter. Hopefully there will be some good threads going on Twitter or in Discord groups. Finally, on Sunday, we're going to have the Battle Hardened event at that calling. That will be Uprising Draft. Again, most of us have had an opportunity to do draft, whether it was through the World Premiere events or at our store's pre-release events, or even during the Road to Nationals itself. Half of them or more were set up as draft events. So super excited to see drafting still going. I really like the Uprising draft. I know that there are a lot of people out there that's kind of 50-50. It is kind of hard to draft. I did just participate in a draft. I felt that I drafted well. Maybe just my inexperience in playing against some of these heroes was my downfall. But I enjoyed it immensely, and I think it's a wonderful set to draft personally. I think it is something, though, that you need to commit early, you need to commit hard, and hopefully you have people that in your pod that aren't flipping really after like pick 5, pick 6 of pack 1, because that really can mess up the pools. But the nice thing is that pod should play against each other, and if you have people doing that, then that means the whole pod should have been weakened by that in theory. So we'll see. I'm going to continue to do drafts at major events when I can. I do like the Uprising draft format. I now have drafted all 3 of the heroes. I've played all 3 of the heroes in draft, and I enjoy it. So hopefully you enjoy it too. If not, there'll be another set coming out in hopefully 4 or 5 months, maybe sooner. Who knows? All right, so that's going to be it for the upcoming major event. We also found out at the Road to Nationals post that we know that the U.S. Nationals will be held in North Carolina, Charlotte, hosted by Star City Games. And we also found out that Worlds for Flesh and Blood will actually be in San Jose, California, hosted by Channel Fireball in November. More information on those 2 events to come closer to the time of those events. Talking about upcoming events, we also are getting ready to start the upcoming skirmish season number 5. Now, this is a blitz and sealed format for the purpose of the event. So it's either going to be a sealed deck, 6 packs, build your own deck, or it's going to be a blitz format. Check for the stores in your area to see which one of these types of events they're going to be hosting. I personally am a big fan of Blitz. I know not a lot of people are. They feel that it's not as competitive as Class Constructed. Yes, there are some wonky things. There are some, lesser life total, lesser resources to play with. The more hyper-aggressive decks tend to be able to push that damage through and force blocking earlier out of their opponents. Could be rolled depending on who goes first, who goes second. I still enjoy it, and it's just a different mindset of playing the game. I will be honest though, I am a hyper-aggressive player. I love to skew my decks more towards being aggressive. Maybe that's why I like Blitz. I don't know. But I do understand the reasons why people don't like it. I like it. So, but we also have the sealed side of that as well with, again, Uprising. So that'll be fun. I'll be looking forward to playing in some of those events. The prizes for that have been announced. We're going to get some Cold Foil Young Heroes out of Phi and Dromai. We have some Rainbow Foil cards that we're going to be getting in 2 playmats. A little disappointing that this doesn't have a larger prize payout, kind of like what the Road to Nationals have. It doesn't feed into anything. This is just a store level event. It's worth some experience points. It's fun. It's fun. So that's why we play these games. In theory, is to have fun. So if you enjoy playing and you enjoy playing in your community, go out and play some Flesh and Blood in the Flesh and Blood. Take advantage of Skirmish Season 5 to go out and make new friends, find new people to play with, or travel around to different stores that you haven't been to and play with their group. And finally, we had the Armoury Kit announced for August. It is going to be the Dromai themed, which means we're going to get the Cold Foil Storm of Sandakai. We're also going to get Extended Art Rainbow Foil Red Hot. So that's something exciting to look forward to in August. We also had 2 playmats. We had the Uprising Art playmat as well as Rake the Ember Art playmat. So really excited to try and get my hands on one of those 2 mats. I think both of them are absolutely amazing. If I had my personal preference, I'd want that Rake the Embers, just gonna be honest. So that's gonna do it for this Fab breakdown. Remember, if you have any questions, you wanna interact with me, leave a comment below or follow me on Twitter. I like to do giveaways over on Twitter all the time. Link to my Twitter is in the video description. Until next time, get out there, play Flesh and Blood in the Flesh and Blood. But most importantly, remember, be kind.